All right, so welcome everyone. So now I want to teach us how to make a normal card, like that's the book cover kind of card, the way you close your books. Okay, just marker. But I'm not going to use this whole piece of cardstock. I'm going to shorten it. Okay, so I will make it 4 inches. So I just want to cut out the piece I need. I'm not making a big size, okay? So it's left for you to decide the size of card that you want to make. Okay, just use this just as a guide. Not that you should just make only this size of card, okay? This is just a guide. You can make bigger ones. You determine the size by yourself. This is just a guide on how to make it. So this is 4 inches, okay? 4 inches. I need an even number. This is 4 inches by it's slightly more than 7. Slightly more than 7, okay? See what I scored? I don't know if you can see it. You can see the score line, right? So I'll just trim that off. Believe me, you need to be very articulate with your work. So I'll just trim that off. Yeah, it's small, but if I left it, it would have made my work messy. I won't have liked the outcome. Okay, so now what I need to do now is, okay, I will not use this board to do the card. I will use ruler so that you understand how to use ruler to score in place of this. Okay, I will use ruler for the first one, so from there you know how to go about it. So let me set this board aside now. So here, this piece is 4 inches. Okay, you can see how I measured it. It's exact 4 inches by 7 inches. Okay, by 7 inches. Now 7 inches divided by 2, 7 divided by 2, that will give you 3.5. So automatically you place your ruler on the lower part. You can see how I lined it up, leaving just very little space, equal all the way. Okay, don't do it like this, if not it will be wrong. I don't know if you can see the space here and here under the ruler, they are not the same. Don't do it like this. This is wider than here, but line it up properly. Use the side of your ruler. You can see I use my finger as a guide. Okay, use the side of your ruler as the guide to make sure that it is well aligned with your cardstock. Now as it is like this, the space here, from here to the ruler and from here to the ruler, is the same. So now from there I can now and then make sure that you check here that it's right, the cardstock is right on this 7 inches mark is on top of the cardstock, up and down. Okay, as I'm seeing it, it is up and down. So now I will now take my stylus or your old pen or your knife, whatever you're using to score, to put a mark like this. I'll just put a mark like this, a small mark like that at 3.5 inches. Okay, then I will come up, lining it up totally with the ruler, no space here. Okay, because I'm using inches, which is the lower part. As I explained in the previous class, this is the part that I'm making use of, not the lower measurements, but not the upper measurements rather, but the lower measurements. Okay, so I will line my ruler up like this again. I'm not leaving any space up here because I'm marking down. I'm not marking up, but from down. Okay, then I also mark at 3.5 inches once again. Then I will bring my ruler and place my ruler beside the two marks, right beside, because my stylus, the mouth of my stylus, I don't know if you can see it, it's round. Okay, it's round. It will take up a little space, and that little space matters. If you put your ruler on top of the mark, you go outside your cardstock. Okay, when you fold it, the two will not be balanced. Okay, the one side will be shorter than the other after folding it. So to prevent that, that's why I said you should put your ruler beside the marks. Okay, then you now join, see the marks here and here, then you now join them up and down. But please, depending on your type of cardstock, don't exert too much pressure. If not, you can tear it. So one thing you need to know is you need to study every cardstock that you buy. Every cardstock is different, they are unique, they are different weights, different texture. Okay, excuse me. So please know the type of cardstock that you're using. You can just cut a little out first as practical to just check how you score it, how much amount of pressure is you apply when scoring. Some other ones you need to apply a lot of pressure. Sometimes I hold these tiles like this just so I can apply enough pressure just for this score line to come out. Okay, so now I've taught you how to use ruler to get your score line. You place your ruler and then score down rather, and then come up, score. If you are also making like another fold like this, you turn your paper, mark it, you understand, up and down, and then join. Okay, so now this is what the board does. It just saves all that time of placing the ruler up and down to measure and all that. See this color that I did with the ruler, it's exactly in the space of 3.5 inches. Okay, but now since this is the smaller part of my stylus, this is the bigger part. So it's bigger part because if I show the smaller part, it will tear my cardstock because there is hole. It's like pushing it in, so it will tear it, but I just need to score it. So I'll use the bigger part. This is just, it's not entering into the hole, it's just hanging on top of it, but this smaller one is entering straight into the hole. Okay, so that's why I use the bigger point of my stylus. So I'll score properly like that. This is it. Okay, you can see the line, right? Yes, very visible. You see the back. This is called the crease line. Okay, so doing this is called scoring. This is the art of scoring. So this is how to make your normal card. After scoring, you just fold, but you don't just fold and just press. Please, you don't do that. After folding, make sure that the two tips here are well lined together. Then you place it down carefully, holding it down very carefully. Make sure it doesn't move. Then gently you start to go inward like that. You can see what I did? Like that. Carefully. Make sure the paper doesn't move as you do that. Okay. Now I can now bring my bone folder and crease that crease line properly so it is very flat. You can see as I left it, it's opened up. If you see buy a card like this that is opened, of course you won't like it, but for it to be well closed like this, that's why you now crease like that. You see, right? It's getting flatter. Crease again, turn, crease again. Okay, so now of course you may not be able to get it become very flat. You can, with this, you always use the envelope to support it. Just put it inside your envelope and you are good to go. Okay, so now this is how to make a normal card. Simple and direct. Now let's design this card. If we measure here, we have 4 inches from here to here is 3.5 inches. Okay, now remember the numbers I sent to you: 1/8 of an inch, 2/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. They're going to come into play here now. Now this is 3.5 of an inch. That is also known as 3 4/8 of an inch, and this is 4 inches. Now we need to cut out a paper. Okay, like you can use A4 paper. Okay, but I have this already ruled paper sheets that I will be using. Okay, So I need to score out 3 and 2/8 of an inch, that is 3 and 1/4, by 3 and 6/8 of an inch, that is 3 and 3/4 of this ruled sheet that I have. So I'll bring my scoreboard, line this up like so, and then score at the first one is 3 and 6/8 of an inch. Let me cut this out first so you don't get confused. Line it up properly and then cut that out. So from here to here is my 3 and 6/8 of an inch. Okay, then I'll bring this back, and this is how I cut it. Okay, this is it. 3 and 6/8, 3 and 6/8 of an inch. Okay, then the next thing I would do is to turn it once. Okay, just once, and then score at 3 and 2/8 of an inch, that is 3 and 1/4. Then cut this out. Now we are left with this. Okay, so now I can turn this down since this space is here. So I will now glue this here. Now what I'm going to do is that I can fold this over so that I know, okay, this is what I'm working with. This is the inside part. Okay, so I will now glue it down like this, making sure that the space all round is equal. Okay, so it will have equal look, like background, have a background look. Okay, equal background size and all. Okay, so let me do that now and we continue. So this is my UHU that I poured inside this bottle. Okay, this is the UHU gum. Okay, I just poured it inside here because it's easier for me to control the UHU from this bottle. But if you know how to control your UHU properly, you are good to go. I don't. That's why I poured it here, for me to know how to control it properly. So this is just what I will do. I will just apply like so, just on the edges. On the edges first. Okay, and then I can now just slightly apply a little like so. Then I bring this and then line it up. Using UHU for this is easy. You can easily adjust it till you are sure of, okay, all the edges are equal. Then you take your bone folder, or if you are using knife, you can use the blunt part of your knife and then just crease. This is creasing. Okay, like that. But please be careful so that you can see the knife is scraping my paper. Okay, so be careful, don't press it too much, just gradually, as in gently. But if I'm using my bone folder, the edge is very, very blunt. Okay, it's not, there's no sharp edge around here anyway, so I can just easily crease that down, press that down properly. And then whatever write up that you have, you write it there, and you can either present this like this and you are good to go, or let me bring in my envelope punch board to show you how to make use of this. You can decide to just, this is how I punch it. You can see where I inserted it in, and then just press here, rounded, and then this side. Now you can either leave it like this, yes, to give it this kind of different look. Yeah, but it doesn't really make sense, so it's better to just round all the corners like so. Now if you don't have this, let me show you how to round your corner without that corner rounder. You get anything round that is perfectly round, okay, then you just place it on top of it like so. You can see the small part coming out. You hold down properly, making sure that the paper doesn't move, okay. If us we just want to hold the paper down for you, while you hold on to what lights are using to hold the paper down, and then you cut along that circle. This circle is not as perfect as I wanted it, okay. So maybe I should bring this in and use this. It's still the same thing. It's the same thing like that. It's still not as perfect as this, okay, but then it's still manageable, okay. So this is the front, this is the back. You can now use, you know how to write all this cursive writing. You can write birthday card, greetings card, whatever you want to write here, and then the message goes in here, okay. And then also there's something called punches, okay. Well, I will bring out the punches in the next tutorial, okay, so that you see and understand how that works. So this is our normal greeting card. Very easy, simple and direct. So you can make this, design it whichever way, whatever comes to your mind, put on the card, design it, beautify it, and you are good to go. And you make your envelope for it and you are good to go. So see you in the next tutorial.